Today is 26th of July 2018. Market trade a narrow range bar. Managed to egg out a small gain of 1.77 point to close at 3328. Now markets over here was very directional, so managed to turn the corners, and right now is trading above the 1326 SMA, and is now near the resistance at 3340. So that's the area I'd like to watch. Support will be at 3275. The most significant support is at 3200. Now if you take a look at the 5-minute charts of the market today, notice after initial upward move, actually throughout the day is actually trading sideways. So today is actually a listless day. Now we have seen the index itself turning corners, and we see that happenings in the bank stock in particular. Over here we can see DBS and a very nice gap today. Notice the increase in volume, so that shows a lot of buying. Look for pullback here, and we look for a new setup. Now we see that across the bank stock. This is UOB. Very nice trust bar over here. Today trades at lower volume. Look for pullback here, and we like to actually look for setups to go long. OCBC. Very nice trust bar yesterday, and today trade a reversal by low volume, likely to pull back from here, and we like to look for setups to go long. Now we'll be discussing Jaffa for quite some time. This is one of the few training stocks. Notice the 1326 is actually rising quite nicely, and after making a high a couple of days ago, now we're experiencing pullback. Today volume extremely low. This is a small deeper setup. Look for a break above the high here of 745. We also mentioned Sheng Siong, but Sheng Siong is a stock small sluggish. You need time and patience. This is what happened right now. You notice actually trade a series of overlapping bars. We like to see break above this high here of 110. We'll be discussing some of the blue chip stocks. They are generally laggards, but they have turned, and this is SPH, forming a large base, and here we have a very nice run, and of course we have a series of swing setup, and right now after the nice trust bars, trade a series of sideways bar. I like to look for a break here above the high of 292. There's a contraction setup, and notice the sideways bars itself are accompanied with low volume, so that's healthy. Now we actually discussed Singtel before, and today happens to be the ex-dividend dates. So if you can add back the dividends, I would like to actually look for setup and trade on the upside. However, we can avoid the stocks since the gap itself does give us some challenges in actually looking at the charts. StarHub. Notice it was trying to actually form a base, and today actually pull back with lower volume. I'd like to actually look for you to break above this high here, 175, and actually challenge the resistance here at 177. Now any upward move we have to be accompanied with good volume, and of course if we move on the upside, we may well see the moving edge rising. Now we see extremely strong move from Costco and Yangtze. Let's take a look at Costco. Stock is quite impressive. With this trust bar here, notice a high volume and followed by low volume pullback. Look for a break above this high here of 41 cents. Less impressive is actually Yangtze. Alright. Over here we have again a trust bar followed by low volume pullback. Look for a break above this high here of 935. Now remember, the moving average are not quite in order. We're just running on this momentum built in this trust bar. We also discussed some of the property stocks that are doing counter trend. This is CDL. Notice after a gap downs with extremely high volumes, the selling has been exhausted, and we see this counter trend. And notice 1326 is actually falling, so we should look for opportunity to actually identify setup to short. Look for a break below this low here of 995. UOL. Quite similar pattern, however, managed to actually clear the 26 SMA. Today, trade a reversal bar. Again, we like to see how we actually turn up, usually after a severe sell down, like this. Alright, a very directional move downwards. stock usually become range bound with a couple of swing. Now there are some exceptions, particularly Wing Tai and Wheel Lock. Alright, notice actually over here managed to actually trade right through the 1326 SMA, and the resistance actually pull back. Alright, I'd like to actually look for you to take out this recent high here of 214. Pretty obvious is that we have to actually take out this resistance here with good volume. Right. Now Wheel Locks, of course, there's a offer, and we should not chase stocks. We just show this for discussion sake. Alright, notice actually we have very strong move. That is very suspicious. All the property sectors are actually weak. Right, all the stocks are weak, but we have this strong move here, followed by 3 days of halt, and of course we have an offer. It's trading slightly above the offer price, and we should just leave the stock alone, since the move is likely to be limited unless there's a counter offer of a higher price. Now we get to a Q from Grocoland. You can see actually after a strong inbound trend, there's a pullback, and today managed to break on the upside. So some property stock may well do this, but we just have to be careful, because some property stock shows sign of weakness after the counter trend move. This is Fraser Property. You notice actually it was moving up, and today itself it traded a reversal bar and closed extremely pro and with higher volume. So this may as well fail. As I mentioned, usually after a directional downward move, we do expect the stock to consolidate sideways, and usually the first few swing itself are quite violent. Let's take a look at some of the manufacturing stock. This is UMS. Some of the manufacturing stock are trying to find a base and trying to turn up, but actually met with some selling. Selling a company with low volumes. I'd like to see the stock eventually take out this high here of 885. We see that in high P as well. Today actually trade reversal bar. Alright, after a run up followed by pullback, and notice today pullback also accompanied with higher volume. Nevertheless, like to see take out the high here of 143. Sunnydale Tech. Alright, they have quite similar patterns trying to form a base, and right now I'd like to wait for you to actually complete this consolidation and eventually take up this high here of 146. Now, however, this stocks itself, we will just have to adopt a hit and runs approach, because we have a lot of high volume bar, so there are a lot of trap buyers trying to get out. Now, markets is slightly stronger, so we should focus on long than shorts. If you take a look at Sembcorp Marine, this is probably one of the very few stocks that is weak, and we may want to actually take a look at the stocks to initiate a short when you break below this low here of 181. Now, if you take a look at the swing report itself, so notice this is the long reports. Alright, quite a sizable list, and of course short you notice is actually very small, so we should actually focus long than short trades. Now, last but not least, I'd like to actually draw your attention to city environment. This stock today kept up on good earning results. Notice the high volume. This is actually a base that was actually forming over a month or so, and we have a gap up, which is a positive sign. We'd like to look for pullback here and look for setups. Again, we are riding on this momentum. Alright, so focus more on long than shorts, and of course some of the stock like this itself, we still can trade, but we have to be careful with overhead resistance, so we should adopt a hit and runs approach.